Hello and welcome to Chapter 2, Video 5. We are on page 14 in your notes, and that's where I'll be picking up. You can go ahead and fill in the first blank as numerator as we start talking about fractions. Numerator is the top number in a fraction. Okay, the numerator represents the number of parts that you're talking about. Okay, it's number of parts. For example, maybe it's the number of pieces of pizza that you have left over, or maybe it's the number of pieces of pizza that are gone. That's the top number, represents the part that you're talking about. The denominator, that's the bottom number. Denominator, that's the number of parts that it takes to make one whole of whatever it is you're talking about. Okay, so you're comparing, in a fraction, you're comparing parts to wholes here. Okay, so that's what a fraction is. If you forgot what it means, that's the definition of those words, and you'll need to learn those. Here's a couple of examples here. This is meant to be two different questions, question 1, question 2. And it's just a visual representation of what's the fraction represented in the shaded areas here. So in the question on the left, number 1, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Okay, now we have the fifth and the sixth part. Those two parts are not included here. But if I'm going to write the fraction represented here, I would write 4 over 6. Because I have, remember that that's the number of parts on top. And number of 6 means it takes 6 parts to make one whole. So 6 make one whole there. Okay, so 4 out of 6. And you might be thinking, hey, that's the same thing as 2/3, and it is. We haven't quite gotten there yet, but you can see it. If I were to divide the pie up like this, you can see like there and there, you can see 1, 2 out of 3. That's simplifying fractions, which we'll really do later. Right now, we need to understand that that's the number of parts we're talking about. The 6 is the number that it takes to make the whole. So if we did the same thing to the right, we'd get 3/8 because we have 3. Right, and what we don't have are the rest of these, which is a total, from there to there, is a total of 8. So 3 is the parts, 8 is the wholes. Right there. So that's the basic understanding definitions of fractions. Now this one I did a little bit differently. What we're doing here is we're going to imagine that this entire frame is what we're talking about here. Okay. So this is interesting because here's what I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I don't have this piece number 6. Okay, so if we think about it, this is 1. Okay, this is, imagine it's kind of like you have 2 pieces of pizza. Right, so that is 1 pizza. Okay, let's say you have 2 pizzas. I think I said pieces of pizza. We have 2 total pieces. Well, I have 5 parts. But if you think about it, the question, the bottom number is how many does it take to make 1 pizza? It only takes 3. So the answer to this question is 5/3. Or you could think of it as 1 whole, plus 1, 2, plus 2 out of 3. And that's a mixed number. We'll do that later. It's really the better answer. But for now, I want you to understand that it's 5 out of 3 because we're talking about 5/3. We're just introducing fractions at this part. That's what we're looking for you. Now here's a really interesting, the concept of a ruler or a measuring device, measuring stick in inches. Some of you probably have this memorized that you know where third or fourth is or whatnot. Well, let's connect it to why we have thirds or fourths or halves when we measure with the ruler. If we let's say our measure is going to right here. Okay, so I think we got that lined up on your sheet there. So if I consider it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I keep going all the way, it takes 16. My pin stopped working. There we go. It takes 16 of these little gaps to make 1 inch. Okay, so right here, if we count how many we have, let's keep going here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It means I have 9 out of 16. Okay, so that's my measure there. I have 9/16. And that's how we do that. That's how the ruler works. I changed it up a little bit right here. If we did the same thing, we still have 16ths. And this time we have 12 out of 16. Now, again, if you use the ruler a lot, you might know that, hey, that one right there is fourths. And you can think of it like this. There's one, there's one, there's one, and there's one. So that particular distance represents fourths. So you have a fourth, and a fourth. So you also can say that that is equal to 3/4. But again, we'll learn how to reduce that later if you don't remember how to do that. But I wrote 1/3 there. Sorry, that's 1/4. Oops. So 12/16 for now, because we're talking about top numbers, the number of parts we have, which is 12 in that case. Bottom number is 4, and there's 3/4 again, like we just talked about for you. So that is that information for you. Now, let's go over this again. I believe we hit this earlier in a video. So real quick, if we talk about the connection between fractions and whole numbers, the number one, this is review for. So I'm going to go kind of quick here. Anytime we have a number over itself, like 7/7 is equal to 1, because the top number and the bottom number are the same. So if you have 7 things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you divide them into 7 groups, okay, that's in a group, that's in a group, there's 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups, 6 groups, 7 groups, you have 1 item per group. That's 7 divided by 7. And that's going to happen with any number. So any number divided by itself is 1. The only exception is 0. All right, well, let's talk about this, number 2. The number 0. If I have 0 divided by 7, well, that means I have 0 items to begin with. So if I took 0 items, here's a picture of 0 items in my circle here. There's nothing there. If I took 0 things and put them in groups, in 7 groups, how many would be in each group? 0. You have nothing. So 0 divided by anything is always equal to 0. Okay? The next one, if you have a denominator of 0, this is the kind of a weird one that we talked about earlier. If you have, let's say, 7 divided by 0, well, that does not exist. That is no solution. Here's why. It's kind of like saying I have 7 x's, and now it says, okay, take those and put them in groups of 0. Well, you can't. You can't take something that exists and divide them into groups of 0 and have something. You have to start with 0 for that to happen. So it's impossible. Do not say that that is equal to 0. Don't do that. That's not the answer. It's a sad face right there. This is not equal to 0. So any number divided by 0 is, in fact, no solution. And then the fourth thing on this page, we're on page 17 now, by the way. Anytime we have a whole number, that would be like, I'll choose 5, so I don't have to draw as many x's. 5 divided by 1 is equal to 5. That means I have 5 x's. I have 5 things, and I divide them into one group. How many x's would be in that group? You have that number. You have one group of 5. Therefore, it's 5. So if you do that to any number, x divided by 1 is equal to x, and that will work with any value there, including 0. So anytime you have a whole number divided by 1, the answer is whatever that numerator number is right there. Okay, we're pushing 10 minutes here for this video, so I'm going to pause it. The next one coming up, we will pick up on page 17 in the next video and start multiplication. So, see you soon.